Hello again, guys. It is Freeze700. We are back, this time with Mass Effect lore. You guys have been requesting it. I've been pushing it off to the side, but fuck it. I just said, you know what? Let's do it. This is easy content for me, because the game pretty much explains everything. Woohoo! So, Salarians, their military combat. Let's talk about that. So, Salarians, they're more like humans in the sense that they use squad-based warfare, where they just micromanage tiny squads of individuals, and they keep moving them around. Never do Salarians actually want to go into a full frontal engagement, like holding bunkers, holding the line. They don't thrive in these environments because they're a little squishy, they're a little fragile, and the best shields that they got still can't really help them that much. Now, one of the nice things, too, about being in the squad warfare is that Salarians are actually fucking fast. People don't really talk about it a lot, but they're actually really fast. So, when it comes to the whole idea of squad warfare, manipulating squads into certain positions that are advantageous, it can actually get pretty scary pretty quickly for the opposing side. So you can just be pushing through with your massive force of just, 300 Turians, and you're like, wow, man, these guys really aren't defending. They just keep retreating. All of a sudden, you're surrounded on all sides by sniper crews, and they're just picking off your dudes. And every time you chase them, all you're doing is spreading your army thin, where you basically are just scattering your forces, and you're still getting picked off. Boom, boom, boom. Because the Salarians are very, very fast. Now, something else that's very interesting, too, about Salarian warfare is that not only do they engage in this kind of warfare tactics on the ground, but in space, they engage in more interesting tactics. Because, again, you can't really use ships like that. Ships are not that fast. But what Salarians do is that they have very advanced, sophisticated technology on their ships. So, with a human vessel and a Turian vessel, they may be able to intercept maybe 3 missiles out of 6, maybe 3 missiles out of 5. They'll just keep intercepting them and blasting them down. A Salarian ship is going to have advanced features, so they're going to have cloaking capabilities on a ship. That is very rare and very hard to come by, but it's very scary when it happens. Then they also have better intercepting of missiles and torpedoes, where they could just start zapping away. This, of course, obviously puts the enemy at a bit of a disadvantage, because now their shots aren't getting in, and also they don't know if there's a Salarian cruiser right next to their cruiser. They just don't know about it because of the cloaking technology. So it gets very, very scary and very, very interesting at the same time. Now, the thing about Salarian military that's also very fascinating is that it's mostly based on its intelligence. They actually don't recruit that many soldiers. They don't usually need that many soldiers. But their army is volunteer, just like humanity's. So, hey, if you're a Salarian and you feel like you're a little down in your luck, just sign up for the military, But most of the actual strength of the Salarian military is not their speed. It's not their really high-tech guns and really high-tech ships. It's actually their intelligence. They're almost CIA industry, but instead they're called the STGs, Salarian Special Task Group. Now, one of the interesting things about this is that the Salarians never engage a battle, they never engage a war before knowing exactly everything about their opponent. So in other words, you're never going to catch a Salarian with his pants down. This is something I find very fascinating. So if the Salarians catch whiff that you might actually declare war on them, they're not going to wait. They're not going to just sit by and wait for you to declare war. They view this as a naive thing that humanity does. So what they do instead is they launch an attack against you first. They surprise you. Before war has even been declared, they're already attacking you. This, of course, puts a lot of allied and non-allied races in the galaxy on edge with Salarians. Because now it's like, if we even talk bad about Salarians, they might just pop into our system and destroy half of our fleet with their pants down. So, do we really want to engage the Salarians? Do we even want to think about it? If you even think about fucking with the Salarians, you best wake up and apologize to the nearest Salarian that you find. Because they already knew it. They already know exactly where your ships are. They know where your troops are going to be. They knew exactly who to target, as in who's the chain of command. So the Salarians are actually very, very scary. And this is why a lot of races, they may not like the Salarians because they view them as scummy, they view them as backstabbers, they view them as know-it-alls who don't tell you exactly what they know. And these are all pretty much accurate. But No one's ever going to declare war against the Salarian due to these reasons. Because as the Salarian Kirahi would say, most of their heroes are heroes that are spies. Basically spies who ended wars with a single shot. Spies who have withheld information from enemy forces. Like, maybe the enemy force saw that there's a black hole nearby this Mass Effect relay. But all of a sudden that document gets lost in all the logistics, so now the navigator just goes right into the fucking black hole with his whole fleet. That could happen. This is something about the Salarians that is very interesting as far as their method of warfare. They essentially can infiltrate you, and you don't even know it. There is a league of Salarians called the League of One, and the League of One is no longer existent anymore, but the League of One used to exist prior to the Salarians fully indoctrinating themselves into the Asari and the Turian regimes. So essentially, in order to make the Asari feel better, so that way the Salarians aren't too powerful, the Salarians got rid of their League of One. But what was the League of One? The League of One was the best and brightest Salarians as far as infiltration and assassination. This league, by themselves, could eliminate the president. They could eliminate literally the ambassadors of the council of the Citadel. They were that elite. They were that strong. So yeah, it stood to reason why the other councils would be a little cautious of allying themselves with someone who actually has a league of Salarian agents that can just act and operate above the law without the government say so. So the government got rid of it. But now they have the STG, the Special Task Force, Special Task Group. And the Special Task Group isn't exactly as good as the League of One, because the STG actually did try to hunt down the League of One, and they failed. Only 2 operatives came back, and they said that they couldn't find any trace of the League of One. So that kind of shows you already that the Special Task Group is elite, but they're not nearly as elite as the League of One once was. Thankfully, they're no longer around. So when it comes to Salarians and biotics, I figured I'd mention this, but Salarians have the rarest amount of biotics probably out of any race that can have biotics. So we don't really see biotics, honestly, in all of Mass Effect series. We don't see a Salarian biotic, but it is mentioned in their codex that they do have them, and any time that there is a Salarian, maybe one Salarian out of 1 billion Salarians is born with actual biotic capabilities, they're put into the intelligence industry instead of the front lines, instead of in civilian life. No, they're immediately put to better use. The reason why is much like the Krogan. If you have someone who is born with an innate special power, don't waste it. So that's what the Salarians do, whereas the Asari, all of them are biotic. It's just whether or not they train into more or less making it a profession. And the humans, we have biotics, but they're not treated any differently than normal soldiers. You could be a biotic and you'd still be in a normal infantry platoon, and that's pretty much where you'll be. So that's something I find very, very fascinating with the Salarians and their method of warfare. So besides that, this has been Frieza 700. I am out. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys next time. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't, and tell me what you guys think down below. Maybe you guys are like, yes, my panties are soaked because he finally did Mass Effect lore. Or maybe you're like, huh, all he did was basically read the codex and regurgitate it out to me. Yeah, because Mass Effect has a codex that tells you everything that you may honestly desire. It's just, do you want to sit there and read? Most people say no. So I'll bear the burden for you. Besides that, see you guys next time.